What does it mean for a young person to transition, and how is it actually kind of like cheering for a sports team? This is Xtra Explains social transition versus medical transition. So pop culture and the media often portray being trans as a doctor-filled medical experience involving surgeries and hormones. But for most trans people, and especially for trans kids, it can often just be a lot more about social transition. And it's clear from the pile of politicians yelling about irreversible damage online that a lot of people don't actually understand what social transition is. So medical transition refers to the medical stuff. Puberty blockers, hormone replacement therapy, surgery, while social transition is about how you exist in the world socially. So that ranges from your name to the pronouns you use, and if you want to be referred to as a boy, girl, or something else. It can also involve the clothes you wear or the activities you participate in. Any of these things can be easily reversed or swapped around. You were Logan, now you're Lola, or you could be Luann. You can think of medical transition like getting a tattoo of your favorite sports team's logo and getting season tickets to all of their games. Well, social transition is buying the jersey and calling yourself a fan. You can take off your jersey whenever you want, or if you're in a space where it's not safe to wear. For a lot of trans people, and especially trans young people, social transition often happens first, since accessing medical care can be a long process or inaccessible to some adolescents. And it's completely unnecessary before puberty. It's a lot easier and more comfortable to try out a different name or pronouns than it is to go through the complicated process of accessing medical care. Social transition is also a valuable tool for kids who maybe don't have supportive networks in every aspect of their lives. Trying out a new name at school or just at home with family can be an easy first step in figuring out who they want to be. Allowing kids who want to socially transition to do so can be an important way for them to explore their identity safely. A 2023 study found that over 95% of children who socially transitioned did not regret it 5 years later. Among the 5% who detransitioned, more came out identifying as non-binary than cisgender. Those who reverted to cisgender identities more commonly started their social transition before age 6 and reverted before age 10, way before any medical intervention, as this stage of transition is entirely social. It's wearing clothes. And let's be clear, letting a young person socially transition doesn't turn them trans any more than going to a football game turns a kid into a lifelong fan. Social transition can just be the first formative step in a young person figuring out who they are. And social transition isn't irreversible. It doesn't involve medication, and it allows kids to change their mind later on with no medical consequences if it's what they want. Just the same way as James David Vance decided to go by J.D. Vance, or Stephanie Germanotta decided to be Lady Gaga, lots of people choose and change their names in life. It's not all that different for trans kids. That same 2023 study found that a small number of kids who socially transitioned ultimately decided it wasn't right for them. And that's A-okay. Giving young people the space and time to socially transition and figure out what feels best can set them up for success. For more explainers on everything you need to know about trans youth, head to xtramagazine.com.